you should be buying these rookies in your Dynasty leagues before their price goes up. So that means right now, because people are going to catch on really quickly with these guys. People are going to realize that they are undervalued, and people are going to start buying them like crazy. So go trade for some of these 5 guys, or all of these 5 guys, maybe, depending on how many leagues you're in, today. First, do us a huge favor. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We've got content coming out all offseason long. Make sure you're joining our memberships. We're going to do team review videos for our Domain S tier members, so make sure you're jumping onto that. It gives you access to our Discord. We have a new listener league open, one more listener league, so if you want to be in a league with us, make sure you join the Domain S tier. You can do that through the memberships on YouTube. Make sure you're checking out Fozzie Football, and make sure you're checking out the merch with the mugs, with the body armor in it. So make sure you're checking all that out. We really appreciate it. All right. Starting with the rookie that I think the rookie sleeper that I think we collectively might be both the most high on, Jayden Reed. So Jayden Reed, Green Bay Packers, slot wide receiver. He's going to be playing alongside Christian Watson. He's going to be playing and receiving passes from Jordan Love. He's going to be playing with the weapons like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and also Luke Musgrave now, who's the tight end there. It actually doesn't sound like the worst offense in the league.
Definitely not the worst. There are some way worse offenses for sure. They could do some stuff, honestly. I think they could be, some pretty high producing assets in that offense personally.
But when you're looking at Jayden Reed, there's something that, and this is, I think we're slow to do this too, admittedly. But when we don't even have a guy on our radar pre-draft, and he comes in and gets second round draft capital, second round, right? What was the pick? Do you know?
219.
When he comes in and gets second round, we are very slow to adjust. Like, okay, we didn't have this guy on our radar. He wasn't going to be up here with these top wide receiver prospects, so we're going to fade him a little bit.
We adjusted pretty quickly with this guy, though.
I think we did.
I think this guy of all people, and then Michael Wilson, honestly.
Yeah. So with Jayden Reed, I think people are underestimating how much of a role he could have in that Packers receiving game. I think this is a position that is advantageous. Playing alongside an athletic, stretch-the-field receiver like Christian Watson, I think Jayden Reed could outscore Christian Watson this year. Do you agree with me?
I absolutely
Torch
agree.
us for it. I don't care. I think Jayden Reed, he's going to be the PPR monster in that offense. He's going to be the slot guy. He's going to work more in the middle of the field. So usually when you have guys like that, guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, guys like Justin Jefferson, Justin Jefferson, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Justin Jefferson's kind of a unicorn.
Some.
He plays outside a little bit.
That's why I started guessing it.
Yeah.
Guys like JSN.
JSN.
These guys are going to get so much production, so much volume. And with Jayden Reed, we absolutely believe that that's the case as well. And I think part of the reason people are down on Jayden Reed that we're not is because people are way too high on Christian Watson. Again, Christian Watson has not proven yet that he can produce from a fantasy standpoint without scoring touchdowns.
Correct.
Has not. He has not. He has one of the highest touchdown dependency rates of any wide receiver. Maybe the highest. Jayden Reed brings the skill set. I mean, Michigan State fans swear we're going to love him. Brings the skill set that could provide a lot of PPR scoring, both short-term and... I mean, this could be a guy that comes completely under the radar and has a really solid career in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, I would trust Michigan State fans, honestly. Did they speak highly of Kenneth Walker last year?
Yeah.
Because there were some people that were downers on Kenny Walker. They knew what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But no, I think Jayden Reed in an offense that just isn't known for the passing volume that they offer, it's kind of just a tough conference to play in, and an offense that isn't known for the QB play that they've had in a very long time. Only had 90 targets last year with a 22% target share, 636 receiving yards, and a 61% catch rate, which is, all that stuff is mid, all that stuff is fine, I guess, but that's why he never really shot up draft boards. It's kind of the same thing with why Jonathan Mingo didn't go up draft boards, is because a lot of times when the Dynasty community wants to look at production first and foremost, even if it's independent of what conference or the situation that they're in, and you kind of look at that specifically, and then you want to make conclusions based off of their production. Then you look at their talent level. Jayden Reed just kind of, like you said, fell under the radar. And I think with him having 11.6 yards per reception, that's very telling as to what his primary skill set's going to be. His best season is junior year in 2021. He had 1,000 receiving yards off of 59 receptions and 17.4 yards per reception, which is better. And I think that just shows what he can do after the catch. I think some of his best highlights, have you watched Jayden Reed film recently?
It was after the draft.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff he did in the red zone, I mean, his contested catchability and some of his route running on the outside and fade routes into the end zone, I think they were really impressive. Yeah. And I think that's going to be a really good sign for what he could do in that Packers offense for Jordan Love in the passing game. Now, outside of that, what do I think his ceiling is going to be this year? Like, I'm not exactly... If we think that he can outproduce Christian Watson, I'd say he could be a wide receiver too, because I don't think there's not going to be any wide receiver 1 producing in the Packers offense this year. It'll all be wide receiver 2s. Yeah. But again, I think that could be his ceiling for sure.
So you're looking at the top 10 wideouts from the slot this past season. I was right. Justin Jefferson's number 3. He had 700 yards from the slot and 44 receptions. But guys like CeeDee Lamb and Christian Kirk, who are ahead of Justin Jefferson for slot production, guys like Chris Godwin, Tyler Boyd, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jerry Jeudy, Keenan. There's some good freaking names on this list. You notice that? I mean, yeah. So we believe that Jayden Reed, while he's probably not the level of prospect that some of those guys came out as, he's got the draft capital, he's got the team investment now. We think he has a skill set, so he could be a pretty good buy low candidate in Dynasty. We're moving on to our next guy, and you've got Kendre Miller.
Kendre Miller is a guy that we kind of faded a little bit going into the NFL draft. We were more concerned about just the injury that he was struggling with towards the end of the season and if that would affect his draft capital. And it didn't. He went 3rd round to the New Orleans Saints in a backfield that's very questionable, with Alvin Kamara most likely getting suspended for a significant amount of time and then them bringing in Jamal Williams. Is Jamal Williams a concern from a fantasy perspective for Kendre Miller this season? Yes, I think so. Does that mean that Kendre Miller isn't going to get the opportunity to be the running back 1 in the Saints offense? I don't think so either. So I think that Kendre Miller is going to get heavy investment, heavy opportunity from the Saints because of how highly they've spoken of him, how they almost debatably, I would say some thought they reached for him. But, I mean, he went in the 3rd round, which meant I think he belongs to go in the 3rd round. He definitely has the skill set, the elusiveness, the power, the size to be the primary bell cow running back in that offense. And no, he's no Alvin Kamara, but I think his receiving upside could be something to keep an eye on for sure. And this could really boost his dynasty stock as well. I mean, his last season for TCU, he had 16 receptions for 116 receiving yards at a 5.1% target rate. So that's not an offense that's dumping it off to the running back very often. So 16 receptions, while on paper that doesn't look very good, what he did with those receptions was very impressive. So I think that could be something that they could build on in New Orleans, and it's going to be something that you want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we're going to talk about Zach Charbonnet here. Zach Charbonnet obviously played at Michigan his first years of college, transferred to UCLA. In his last year at UCLA, 195 rushing attempts for 1,359 rushing yards. He had 14 total touchdowns. He had 37 receptions and 321 receiving yards to go along with that. So right off the bat, you see from his production numbers, a very productive back all around, a very good all-around back, a back that has good size and could actually take on a pretty big workload with his size, but a guy that has unfortunately fallen out of the first round of Dynasty rookie drafts in some places because he's drafted to a team with Kenneth Walker. Now, I think a lot of people are underestimating, which I don't know how. I guess I did it first, so I'll give you that. I don't know how we're underestimating a guy that has second. They took him in the 2nd round. The 2nd round. So he's got as good a draft capital as guys like Jonathan Taylor and Breece Hall.
This is a very unique season where I don't think I've ever seen guys with draft capital of Zach Charbonnet's caliber and Jahmyr Gibbs' caliber and seeing both of them fall in drafts as much as they have been in startups. Like, it's unbelievable. But like you said, for Zach Charbonnet, this man, please take our word for it. Like, if anything, trust the draft capital and then trust our word for it in the statistical research that we've spent hours doing in understand that you will not regret taking this guy in the 9th round of your startup draft. No. The 9th round, a really good price for second round running back
in the 9th round.
That's insane.
That's really good value, guys.
That's unbelievable. I mean, James Cook last year was a 2nd round running back, and some people took him because of his draft capital, and he was going in the 7th round. Like, Zach Charbonnet is so much of a better prospect, such a better talent overall, and he's going 2 rounds later than where James Cook was last year.
That's insane. Look, and with Zach Charbonnet, obviously we love his skill set. I understand that there are going to be people that are lower on Zach Charbonnet because of Kenneth Walker. We are begging you to just take the running back with the draft capital that late in startups. You will thank us
and
later.
The receiving upside, points per reception, man.
That's a huge part of it as well. All right, you've got Josh Downs, who obviously is one of our guys here, and we're a little bit biased, and we've already done a video on Josh Downs. But again, I'll preface with this before you get into it. I've seen videos saying to sell Josh Downs. I've seen people on Twitter. What are you selling him for?
Just hold them at this point. I mean,
sell them for Sky More Plus.
It's funny. The negative content that I've heard on Josh Downs literally portrays him in a light like the truthers think that he's going to produce as some wide receiver 1 this season.
It's not for a guy you're getting in the mid-late second of Dynasty rookie drafts, a guy you're getting in the 10th to 12th round of Dynasty startups. That's not what the expectation is. He's going off the board at the wide receiver, 30-something probably.
Yeah, this is a market value play. We're not even saying that Josh Downs is going to be some hyper-productive wide receiver right off the bat, but what we do know is that rookie wide receivers maintain their value going into their second year, and Josh Downs is a slot wide receiver in what will likely be a six-back offense in Indianapolis, and that bodes really well for his fantasy upside. We're not saying long-term. I don't think either of us really love Josh Downs' fantasy upside long term. Even we're reluctant to say what he's going to do with Michael Pittman in that offense. That being said, where he's going right now is not going to be where he's going next season.
True. Yeah.
And that's why we're buying him right now.
Guys, look at the rate at which rookie wide receivers increase their ADP. Look at how many of them actually decrease their ADP. It's like extremely small
low
number. Like Sky Moore and Tyquan Thornton were outliers.
Yeah, we need to do a dedicated video on that actually, because I did some numbers on there. I just need to pull them back up again. But
on the wide receivers?
Wide receivers that maintain
I thought you meant
value.
on Josh Downs. Like, people are going to get sick of that. No. All right, our last guy. You're not going to be expecting this. Jahmyr Gibbs is actually our last guy that we're telling you to buy. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a huge buy in Dynasty right now. And look, a lot of people are already saying he's too... I don't understand how you can say that Jahmyr Gibbs is overvalued, overpriced right now. So where Jahmyr Gibbs is going pretty consistently in every Dynasty startup is around the middle of the 3rd round. I promise you he will be going higher than that next year. The man has some of the most insulated value you can ask for in a running back. He has top 12 overall picks, top 12 draft capital.
I have never seen a rookie running back with that draft capital going as late as Jahmyr Gibbs is. And the answer, the reason for why he's going so late is absolutely clear and obvious. Everyone knows why. And this is because of the Swiftie truthers.
Yep.
This is because of guys like Avery.
Yep.
You're able to see past it.
Oh, yeah.
You are. But
yeah.
Everyone is terrified to touch Jahmyr Gibbs too early because you're afraid that it's going to be DeAndre Swift all over again. It is not.
You're wrong.
That is not going to be the case.
Yeah.
It will not.
No, it won't.
That's why they let DeAndre Swift go, guys. They invested a top 12 pick in Jahmyr Gibbs to replace DeAndre Swift. I don't think you understand how
significant that is for an NFL franchise.
Why are we having to reinforce this? Because it's obvious with Bijan Robinson. Everyone's like, yeah, he's a top 10 pick. He's easily running back 1 in Dynasty. So why is Jahmyr Gibbs not even as high? Honestly, if the majority of the Dynasty community had Jahmyr Gibbs as high as running back 2 overall in Dynasty, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I wouldn't either. He's got top 12 draft capital. He's got better draft capital than Brees and JT. Right? He's a rookie. He's 21. He's on an offense. He's on one of the best offenses in the whole NFL with a really good offensive coordinator.
The most efficient receiving back, PPR back in college football last year at Alabama.
He has one of the best route trees that a running back has had coming out as a prospect in the last 20 years. I mean, he might have the best route tree. He is absurd. They're going to use him in every way that they can, and he's going to produce at an extremely high level in fantasy. Look, you not only get the production of him immediately, because PPR backs that come in like that, they tend to produce their rookie years. You not only get that, you get his value jump. Because when he jumps up, honestly, where should he be going? I don't understand why Brees Hall is going mid-second and Jahmyr Gibbs is going mid-third. Brees Hall's coming off an ACL. Whew. Man, this makes me want to rank Jahmyr Gibbs second in my Dynasty rankings now.
I'm considering it, honestly.
I know he doesn't
put him over
seem
Brees,
like a buy low.
like,
If you already think he's overrated, I can flat out tell you you're wrong. If you're tentative about buying Jahmyr Gibbs low, we're willing to say this on camera in front of you, so obviously we believe it that much. What does that mean? Probably nothing, but still, we believe it. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up. Make sure you go get those guys. Let us know who you're buying in the comments. Let us know rookies that you're targeting, who you think should have been on this list, and what you think of the guys we did put on this list. Do us a favor. Like the video, subscribe, 2 things. Very easy, help us out a ton. Make sure you check out Fozzie Football up there and our merch on our YouTube page, as well as our memberships, Domain S tier members. Get access to our rankings, ADP data, get their team graded by us on video, and also get access to our Last Listener League if you want to play in a league with us. As well as always, we appreciate you guys joining us, and we'll see you later.